Hi everyone, and thanks for checking out this week's episode of Dramatic Knits. This is episode 367. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more episode, and if you're new, hopefully you enjoy this episode and you'll come back in the future. Today is Wednesday, October 28th, 2020, and if you're a returning viewer, you will probably notice I am in a slightly different location. I am just pushed forward into the next room of our craft room. This is more Andy's side, but the way the sunlight was coming in through my window and drapes, it looked like I was floating underwater, and it was not great. So you got a little bit of glare on my glasses, but I'm sitting in a comfy chair that we actually don't sit in very much, but I figured the nice neutral background and the better lighting would work out better for all of us. So thank you so much for taking the time to check me out this episode. I hope you enjoy what you see. If you do, I hope you'll give me the thumbs up on YouTube or subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, so that other people can come across the podcast and enjoy it as well. I'm super excited for today because I am actually taking today off. Today is my only work thing that I have to do. So Andy's at work for a little bit, but he's gonna come home early. We've actually been coming home early from the dye studio almost every day for the past week or more, due to lack of yarn. As you may or may not have heard, there has been a severe yarn shortage due to COVID-19, but it took a while for it to happen because most of the indie dyer suppliers have warehouses full of undyed yarn ready to ship out. Well, it took a while for that undyed yarn to dissipate and disappear, and then it has taken a while for where the yarns are milled and produced to get back on track and get producing again. They are producing again, which is great. However, getting them imported, and then there was a whole big snafu with shipping. So yarn is coming. We have, I think, over 750 pounds of yarn arriving tomorrow. So yeah, we pretty much bought a very cheap car with our last order. It was the biggest order we've ever done by far, but we are needing tons of yarn so that we can fulfill future orders and engagements, and we're so excited for that. So if you've been patiently waiting for things, thank you so much for your patience. We truly appreciate it. But since, we don't want to dye all of our yarn and have absolutely nothing to do, we've been doing shorter days and checking in and doing administrative work and deep cleaning and getting ready for our remodel. So yeah, let's just talk about the last couple of weeks. So I mentioned to you last episode that we were meeting with some contractors. We did sign our contractor, and we picked out the flooring for our studio, and it's paid for, and it's actually at the store, but we're waiting for the molding or the transition pieces to arrive, so we're waiting to pick that up. Luckily, we have a cargo van. They were willing to deliver it for a fee, but they would just leave it outside the studio anyway, so we were going to have to lug it in. We have 2 pallets worth of flooring coming. But I'm really excited. I posted on Instagram about it. The flooring that Andy agreed with me was the best thing that we found, but it was my decision. It's kind of a refurnished wood look. So the wood has it's a waterproof vinyl. Because of what we do, we can't have real wood and expect it to last or look good. So it's a waterproof vinyl, but it's meant to mimic wood, and it has, a lot of texture to it, and it looks like it's been used and aged and redone, which is going to work really well for the aesthetic that we're going with, as well as remodeling a building that has been there since 1872, which is when our studio was built. So we're really excited about that. We are still trying to finalize our paint color, but we have a little bit of time. We have a couple more weeks before our contractor can start working on our building, which is exciting. We will be open, to take online orders and things like that throughout the remodel. They're going to work with us and around us as we work together to get this done. And so that's super exciting. And then shortly after that, we are going to open our doors to the public. And I couldn't be more excited. Every day we're talking about little pieces here and there. We may very well be hiring someone to a part-time to full-time position to be working in the shop/studio where needed. So right now we're kind of all at full capacity, and when we start traveling again and dying, and we also don't want to live at the studio, but we want to make sure that we're offering the best customer service and products and shop and experience that we can. So yeah, if you're in the central Illinois area, close to Clinton, Illinois, and you are looking for a job and know yarn and know our yarn bases and can do a little bit of lifting and standing on your feet and things like that and engage with customers and answer the phone, give us a shout out. If not, we'll put out an actual PR statement asking for applications and things like that. I'm on my cup of coffee. I had a little bit of a bowl of cereal, made my coffee, got my show notes together. So other than that, nothing else really has been going on. Andy's mom came and visited us for the last week. She was here from Tuesday through Sunday just to get away because she's, she's a widow who lives by herself. Her grandkids and her son and daughter-in-law live the next subdivision over, but, they have busy lives, and she just kind of wanted to get away and come see her son and son-in-law. And so, we did dinners around the house. Andy and his mom went thrift store shopping and doing a few things. And, she just kind of relaxed. She was reusing old clothes and like suit jackets to make little stuffed teddy bears. So she was sewing pieces together for that, and reading and watching TV and just relaxing. So I'm glad she was able to get away, especially before the colder months and the bad weather comes, because then she will not travel down here to see us so much until it's warm again. So other than that, that's pretty much all that has been going on in our lives. I hope everything's been good in your life. I hope, if you haven't already, that you will go out and vote here in the next couple of days, and please be safe while doing so. But if you're going out in person, please go out and vote. Make your voice, your views, your thoughts heard. I always hear, it's the worst of two situations. Well, you still want to make sure that the worst isn't out there, whatever your view may be. As a gay man in central Illinois, it is very red where I live, and I am very blue, but whatever your thoughts, we're still me and you, right? So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. But please go out and vote. And if you haven't already, and yeah. All right, so I'm surprised I'm in such a chipper mood, because, to be honest with you, I sometimes snore and it wakes Andy up in the middle of the night. And if it gets bad enough, he'll get up and go in the spare bedroom or down on the couch. And it happens when I sleep on my back. My back eventually starts hurting sleeping on my side, so I turn over to my back, and then I start snoring. Anyway, I was snoring last night, and I heard him get up, and he eventually got on his phone, and I was like, do you want, my snoring? He's like, yeah, but you stopped. And I was like, do you want me to go in the other room? He's like, no, but I might. And I was like, you know what? I'll just go in the other room. So I went in the spare bedroom, and that bed was just not liking my back any bit more, and just being in a different room and the lights and needless to say, I didn't sleep very well for the last couple of hours of the morning. I did stay into bed till 8:45, but I'm still in a good mood, so we'll take it. All right, let's move into our progress for this episode. So, what's taking a bow? Guess what? chicken butt. No, I'm just kidding. That's what we say around our house all the time. I got nothing. I got nothing taking a bow. But you know what? That's okay. I've made progress and I'm happy to share that with you. So let's move into what's performing. First up for me is my colorful linen stitch blanket. This is by Helena Cat. I'm using various fingering weight scraps held double to make about a DK weight. And I'm crocheting this using a size H or an 8 hook. And I am marling this and I'm switching colors every row. So I am holding a color for 2 rows, but I am switching a color, one of the colors, every row, if that makes sense. So I actually did put in a progress keeper to show you where I was last time we spoke. It's down there. Can you see it? There it is. So I actually did make some good progress on this. And you can see there the last couple of rows that I've done. So yeah, where that orange doohickey is, all the way up to the pink, is where I left off. And I am not doing any rhyme or reason. I didn't with my last crocheted granny square blanket, and I'm not with this. I'm just picking up a scrap ball, a mini skein ball, and I'm going to town crocheting it in. So that is going. I am magic knotting as I go. The beginnings I was going to do fringe, but the fringe looked so measly. I didn't want to add more fringe in, so I was like, I have to weave these in as I go. I was trying to crochet the ends in as I went, and it just didn't look good, and they were popping through, so I decided to just magic knot and go from there. So, all right. Next up, I am knitting the Happenings wrap. This is by Laura Tabbitt, and I'm using Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy in the Vengeance colorway as my main color. And then I am using Spotlight in 5 different colors: Bend and Snap, Can't Quit You, Grapes of Wrath, Look on the Bright Side, and Sandcastle as my coordinating colors. And here's what the wrap will look like. We are doing a knit along for this in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group through the end of November. And what's really cool about this wrap is you use dice, either physical or digital, to pick between 6 pattern stitches and 6 colors. And so no 2 wraps are ever going to be the same. So here is mine thus far. I am in section 7. Yeah. I'm in the last part of section 7. There are 18 sections in the wrap, so I doubt I will finish mine before the end of the knit along. But this also comes, you put on 25 buttons so that you can button it in a variety of ways and wear it in a variety of ways. There's a close-up, and if you can see here, all the way from down there up here is what I've done. This will get more love as I'm on the road this weekend. We have a fairly long road trip to where we're going, 6 hours, which is the longest we will go for a trunk show, but we are going to a trunk show this weekend on Halloween. I'll talk about that towards the end. So I'm enjoying that. It's got a lot of purling, so if you don't like purling, it's essentially rib texture to make the patterns, but I'm going to work on that today. I'm going to watch some movies, some TV. I'm excited. And yeah, see where I can get with that. That's being knit on a size 3 and 4 US, which is a 3.25 and a 3.5 US. I don't have that on my show notes. That's why I had to think about it. Next up for me are my Deadest Man in Deadonia socks. This is being knit out of 716 knit, 716 sock, hardcore, which is her self-striping, in the Deadest Man of Deadonia colorway. And then I'm also using a Leading Men Fiber Arts Showstopper Director's Interpretation, which is a name we give our one-of-a-kinds. It closely mimics Copper Cloud, except it was a little too dark. I'm using that for the cuff, heel, and toe. I'm knitting these on a size 1 US 2.25 millimeter needle. Here is the second sock. Yes, you heard me right. I finished the first one and I got this far on the second sock. So here is the first one. These are going to be for me. I'm excited. They fit wonderfully. And you know what? I have a sock blocker right over there and I should have gotten it out. But alas, love the speckled stripes. I don't know if I've done self-striping with a speckled stripe before. So, love this. So those are going great. We'll see how far I get before the next episode. All right, last up for me, I am knitting the Aslin by Vanessa Smith. This is a very cool textured hat using a sport weight. I'm using Dye Lots yarn Le Sport Weight in the Driftwood colorway. And this is being knit on a size 3 and 5 US, which is a 3.25 and a 3.75 millimeter needle. And here is where we are at. So you do a rolled brim. It's a folded over. You do a provisional cast on. You do a twisted brim, folded over, so it's double thick. And then it has this really cool slip stitch and picked up texture that you do. As you can see here towards the top, I'm doing my rounds where I'm slipping the stitches. And then what you do here is you go and you take your needle and you pick up those slip stitches and then you knit one and pass them over. And that's what makes these V's right down there. So enjoying this. It's just taking a little bit longer. Those specialty rows where you pick up the stitches take a little bit longer, plus it's on sport weight. Right now I am on my third of 4 repeats before the decrease. I'm going to see how tall it is at the end of the third repeat if I need to do a fourth one. I don't really want it slouchy, though the picture doesn't show it as slouchy. So, but it's not going to be for me, let's be honest. So, I'm sorry, I'm really not tired. Subconsciously I may be, but... So those are all my knitting projects, but I've been getting in a lot of other crafting. In terms of what's in rehearsal, I don't really have anything in the plans right now because I'm needing to finish some stuff, but we'll see where life takes me. So let's talk about behind the scenes, what I'm spinning. Here is the last of the second 2 ounces of some Unwind Yarn Company BFL Silk in the Alpine colorway that I'm spinning. Did go and look and I found out that Unwind Yarn Company is no longer in business as of August of this year. And so I had picked this up, I think at the first Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville in 2012. I'm working on the second 2 ounces, but here is the first 2 ounces. With all that white is definitely spinning out more cream colored, but it does have those flecks of color. You can see it's not pure white. And I'm doing this as a 2-ply fractal spin. And these are on my Acreworks bobbins for my Hanson e-spinner. And I'll hopefully have some finished yarn to show you at the next episode. So I also finished a diamond painting. I showed you that I broke this out. Move my card around over here with everything on it. I broke this out to finish it. It had been sitting and languishing for forever and a day. And I did finish my London diamond painting. So this one is majority not diamond painting, but the car, the bus, and somebody corrected me. I do know that Big Ben is the bell in the tower, so it's not Big Ben. They said this was Parliament, and that this was the Queen's Tower, I think. The London Tower. I forget now, but so yeah, I finished that. You can see the diamondy on that. So we're gonna try to find a frame, take the glass out and just frame, this part. I have to do the measurements and see what it is, and then we can put Andy's double-decker Lego bus and his Parliament / Big Ben / London Tower And then he also has the London Bridge, which he needs to still put together. And we can do a little vignette with that. So yeah. All right, let's move into the spotlight. What am I watching and reading? So let's talk TV shows first. I wrapped up The Haunting of Bly Manor on Netflix. I did enjoy it. I would give it probably 3.5 to 4 stars, whereas I would give season 1 4.5 stars. It was a little slow the first 3 episodes. Get past the first 3 episodes and then it gets really twisty and good. But again, it definitely is more emotional, and they say this at the end. They remark it at the end that, you know, it's a retelling of the story that you're actually following. And they say at the end, you know, it's not so much a ghost story as it is a love story. And so it's about how love and loss can haunt us as ghosts, as well as ghosts, if that makes sense. So it had a deeper meaning. I thought it was pretty good. I know that the guy who's done the first 2, he's working on another project. It's not a haunting of, though I'm sure they will do another one. This one is a little bit different, but I then binged a new show on Hulu called Hellstrom. I would give this about 3.5 to 4 stars as well. I find that a lot of these shows anymore, there's such little amount of episodes, 8 to 10, and they have so many ideas that they're trying to throw into one storyline that it veers off all of these different storylines that it becomes a little bit too much. I'd rather get a little bit more invested into one and narrow down the focus and bring in those other storylines in the future. But Hellstrom is about a brother and sister who are estranged, and their mother is institutionalized and believed to be possessed by a demon, and they believe that their father, who was a serial killer, may not have been killed as they thought. And both brother and sister have special abilities that they can either what's the word I'm thinking of? Not possess. What's that? Exorcise demons or things of that nature. And I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I thought the acting was pretty good. So I definitely recommend it. I binged it. Hellstrom. It has 10 episodes on Hulu. Andy and I then watched a movie called Vivarium. This seemed very much like an indie film. It has very few actors in it. It does star Jesse Eisenberg, if you know who he is. But basically this is about a boyfriend and girlfriend in the UK he's American, but they are, you know, she's a teacher, he's a gardener. They are looking to buy a house, and they go to a realtor, and he's like, ooh, let me show you the perfect neighborhood. And he takes them to a neighborhood that seems very surreal, very bland. All the houses look exactly the same. It's very much a maze, and they start looking through the house, and the realtor lets them keep looking, and he then disappears. They try to then leave the neighborhood and are lost and cannot find their way out, and everywhere they go leads them back to the house that they were looking at. So it is a very interesting existential story. It's a little bit out there, but if you're looking for something a little bit off the beaten path, I would recommend Vivarium. I believe that was on Amazon. Also on Amazon, I watched Us. This came out sometime last year. It is the second in the Jordan Peele kind of horror series. The first one was Get Out, which I really enjoyed. This one was along the same lines, a little bit more gory and horror than suspense. Not completely horror, but there's some violence and bloodshed. But basically, this is about a African-American family who are vacationing at their summer home, and The mother had a childhood trauma at this summer home in California by the beach at the boardwalk, and so she wants to avoid going back there, but they're vacationing, and one night another family shows up all in red, and they then take possession of the house, and they soon realize that these are kind of doppelgangers of themselves, and insanity ensues from there. So I enjoyed it. Again, 3.5 to 4 stars. Didn't blow me out of the water, but I thought it was pretty good. I did finish The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I did pull up the synopsis over there. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quickly. I don't think I can. Well, I have it on Audible. Let's see. I don't want to play back. I just want the information.
Hi, this is Mary Beth Roach. I'm the publisher at Macmillan.
Sorry. About this title. Thank you. I don't actually use my Kindle for anything other than my cross-stitch app, so you know. Okay, so I picked this up on Audible because it was given a bunch of awards. I gave it, I want to say I gave it 4 stars maybe. But I'll read you the synopsis and see if this sounds good to you, okay? The Silent Patient is a shocking psychological thriller of a woman's act of violence against her husband and of the therapist obsessed with uncovering her motive, Alicia Berenson's life is seemingly perfect, a famous painter married to an in-demand fashion photographer. She lives in a grand house with big windows overlooking a park in one of London's most desirable areas. One evening, her husband Gabriel returns home late from a fashion shoot, and Alicia shoots him 5 times in the face and then never speaks another word. Alicia's refusal to talk or give any kind of explanation turns a domestic tragedy into something far grander, a mystery that captures the public imagination and casts Alicia into notoriety. The price of her art skyrockets, and she, the silent patient, is hidden away from the tabloids and spotlight at The Grove, a secure forensic unit in North London. Theo Faber is a criminal psychotherapist who has waited a long time for the opportunity to work with Alicia. His determination to get her to talk and unravel the mystery of why she shot her husband takes him down a twisting path into his own motivations, a search for the truth that threatens to consume him. I thought it was pretty good. It took me a while to get through it because I don't listen a lot at work anymore. I just find headphones to be annoying. So I didn't get through it very quickly. That was part of the reason why, I wasn't as intrigued. But there was definitely some twists and turns at the end that I kind of saw coming. But there are twists and turns, so I'd say give it a shot. All right, next up, let's talk stash enhancement, shall we? I have no yarn. Surprise, surprise. I've been pretty good. Though I was not pretty good a couple of days ago, so I have some yarn coming. As well as my club is coming, my self-striping club. I keep skipping over this week after week, and I have some progress to show you this. Let's go back to In the Scene Shop. My cross-stitching. Duh. I finished page 4 of my Heaven and Earth Designs One for Sorrow. So here it is, and I took it off the Q-snap so you could see all the progress that I made. I'm doing this 2/1 half stitch on 25 count easy count fabric. And so you can see where page 4 is stopped. I've added a few stitches down and below. So yeah, I'm super excited. Here's what it's going to look like finished. So, and here is where we are at. So according to Pattern Keeper, which is the Android app, the Google Play Store app that I bought my Kindle for, and I've had some questions about that. Kindle is not an Android app device. However, there are, if you Google, workarounds that you can download things to make it work, which I did do. And the great thing about the Pattern Keeper is it will automatically search all the symbols for you and color code them, and it'll keep track of your progress. You can search per symbol. It's really good. I want to say it's a subscription, maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, it costs some money out. You get a free trial for 2 weeks. Excuse me. But yeah, so I'm working on that, and according to the Pattern Keeper app, I am about 16.62% done with the piece. So, and I've been working on it for about 1.5 years. And I'm itching to get something else started. So my plan is to finish the top row, and then I'm going to put it away and work on something else for a while. So going back to stash enhancement, I got intrigued by an Instagram ad, Facebook ads. I get a lot of these anymore as I'm searching for different craft kits to bring into the Leading Men Fiber Arts studio for when we open. And this one called my name, and it's been showing up on Facebook, and then I saw it on Instagram for the pre-printed fabric cross-stitching kits. So this is a stamped or pre-printed fabric. So you have the pattern, but you can kind of follow the pattern on the fabric as well. This particular pattern is a lot of confetti. This one is the Tree of Dreams. Everything's done made in China, shipped from China, but the whole kit is here. This is called Joy Sunday Cross Stitch. Contains cotton fabric, cotton thread, needle, and instructions. And it's on 14 count Aida. It gives you some quick things on the back about, don't get your fabric wet, things like that. But I'll show you what comes with the kit. I already pulled this out, so. But yeah, when you watch like the speed stitching on the Facebook ads, if you come across them, they're doing block stitching. This does not have a whole lot of block stitching. So yeah, it has the cover sheet, but then it comes with instructions. It is 300 stitches wide by 249 high. It's on 14 count, and it says 2, if I'm not mistaken, down here, 14 count, and you're using 2 threads. It's meant to use 2 threads over 1. This contains 55 colors, but what's great is it shows you the color and the symbol, but then it also gives you the DMC equivalent right there on it, so that if you need to purchase more, you have it. On the front of the pattern, it shows you what the original artwork looks like, and then how it's split across 6 pages. And then I'll hold it back here, but you can see your pages. So you actually have your pattern. Because my sister was like, well, what if, you get your canvas wet and you lose some of your pattern? So that's what's all in here is the 6 pages of pattern. Plus the floss guide. And then here's the pre-printed fabric. It is large. I got a larger one because the larger you go, this is the same with diamond painting, especially the larger you go with a canvas and the smaller you go with the stitch count, gives you the more detail and so it doesn't look so pixelated. A lot of diamond painting is very pixelated when you go in smaller canvases and you can barely tell what they are. So you have to go a little bit bigger. This is, does it give you the size on it? I thought it had it on it. 62 by 53 centimeters. And here is the whole size. So it's going to be a decent size when it's done. And I don't know if you can see here, that's a 10 by 10 block. But yeah, some of these are actually a little hard to read with so much confetti. But to me, that's what makes it beautiful. So I may be following more of the pattern. But yeah, so there's that. I really just want to get started on this, but I don't know. And then it comes with already done up flosses. And they give you a needle. They've marked the color on there. Trying to see if there's anything else on there. But yeah. So. And this is kind of how my Heaven and Earth designs came. I bought this as a kit, and then you just cut the loops at the bottom, and then you can just pull one thread out from the loop at the top. So that will be what I will probably be doing here when I get to this. So I will put that back later and get that back into the bag. All right, let's keep going. So that's all that I purchased. Up for giveaway this week, we had a generous benefactor to the podcast donate this scarf kit. This is from Knit One Crochet 2, and it is called the Drunken Path Reversible Scarf Kit. And it comes with the pattern, I think. Yeah. The instructions. Here's a little bit of what it looks like. I have put a thread up on Ravelry for you to enter to get this. You must be a member of the Dramatic Knits Ravelry group to be eligible. And this, there's a picture of this. It's not in the colors that are shown. These colors are in the blue family, but it comes with a skein of tie-dye socks, this blue-green, as well as their mohair silk in a blue. So, though that's the kit for this week's giveaway. We're going to be giving away that kit next episode. If you'd like to be eligible to win, again, you need to be a member of the Dramatic Knits, a video podcast group on Ravelry. For those of you who may be having issues with Ravelry, again, I'm truly sorry. It's just the easiest way for me to be able to host this in one place. If you need to answer the prompt, this episode's prompt is, what's your favorite libation or alcohol beverage? So I figured since it's the Drunken Path scarf, I thought that was a fitting question. So for me, I am in love almost every night while I'm home. I have a glass with Deep Eddy's lemon vodka with the zero calorie, zero sweetener or sugar. Raspberry lemonade? Is it raspberry? Pink lemonade. I don't know. Strawberry lemonade with a splash of mango orange to kind of offset the lemonade. But yeah, so that's my favorite libation. But if you head on over to the Ravelry group, I'd love to hear what yours is. Okay, so let's keep going. So moving into a round of applause, let's talk about last episode's giveaway, which was for this wheel of yarn, this flying saucer of yarn from Shoppable. And this is in the Dr. Luft colorway, which is this one right here. I did have a picture of it on the giveaway. And this is, you can make 2 perfectly matched variegated socks. They were dyed together, and there's 2 strands on here, and you can even knit from them as you go or wind off as you go. And I did use a random number generator to pick from last episode's giveaway thread. And the winner was number 43, who is Try Linda. That's Linda from Pennsylvania. Congratulations. The prompt last episode was, how do you like your eggs cooked? And Linda said, I like my eggs scrambled with rye toast. So awesome. Congratulations. Linda, please, if you would, direct message me on Ravelry with your first and last name, mailing address, and email address, and I will get this out in the mail to you as soon as possible. All right, I do want to encourage you to enter anything you finished this month into the October 2020 Race to the Finished Object contest. You have a few days left to get your October projects in there, but don't worry, if you don't finish by October, there'll always be the November thread. So we will have a physical prize as well as a pattern from our featured designer, who is Jennifer Lassonde of the Downseller Studio audio podcast. And someone will win a pattern of their choice from Jennifer. Speaking of Jennifer Lassonde being our featured designer, we are having a Jennifer Lassonde knit along in the Dramatic Knits Ravelry group. That is running from October 1st through December 31st, and we will pull a winner every month from the finished objects, and then we will do a grand prize at the end of the knit along here at the end of the year. The dogs have come to join me. They want to get up here and say hi, but I have stuff everywhere around me. Let me see if I can push some of these bags out of the way. Oh, they're hitting the tripod. Sorry. All right, come here. Oh, say hello, Ernest. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll put him on this side. Come here, corn dog. Oh, my little tubbers, but he's losing weight. He's on a little bit of a diet. Green beans. Green beans with less food because green beans have no calories. You don't get to go over there because you're going to spill my coffee. I have my coffee on at the ottoman and it's going to get spilled if this one goes over there. So these are my 2 love pups. Hello. So those of you who haven't seen Ernest or Cornelius in a while. Oh, I know. He's such a lover. But speaking of Jennifer Lassonde, so her knit along's going October 1st through December 31st. You can get 30% off of all of her patterns until October 31st. So a few days left using the coupon code DRAMATIC, all lowercase. And I thought it would be fun every episode to show you a featured pattern from our featured designer to kind of give you a little bit more of a boost of what patterns you could, potentially knit of their patterns. So let me pull this up here. Where am I going? There we go. Oh, no, I want to go to the other tab. Haha. Again, figuring out how to use this Kindle. Okay, so the featured pattern by Jennifer Lassonde this episode is going to be the Tan House Brook shawl. And let me just bring down my brightness a bit. No, get down, bud. Either stay or get down. You don't get to go over there. I smell my coffee. So this is an easy 1 skein project that you can do. It also has been done up in a gradient version. Seems like pretty simple, a good beginner shawlette. Has the most amount of projects of any. This was her first design, I think. There's another one of the first. So even with the simple eyelets, you can do something with a little bit more variegation. There's another different gradient. So yeah, so that's the Tan House Brook shawl by Jennifer Lassonde. So if you're looking for something to start, that could easily be done by the end of the year with 1 skein of fingering weight. And I think it's very easily adaptable that you could probably keep the pattern going if you had more yarn or wanted to make it bigger. Let's get back to my show notes. Okay, so moving right along. Let's move into center stage, all things leading men fiber arts, shall we? Okay, sounds good to me. So I've got bags and bags of stuff to show you. I was going around the studio like a kid in a candy store, grabbing stuff to show you yesterday. Corn dog, you're in my way. Jeez. Let's put you back there, bud. Thanks. Yeah, right back there. Right back there. All right, so first of all, let's talk about our November colorway of the month. Andy designed this colorway this month, and he named it. It is called, I gotta find it. Oh my goodness. It's called Ember. There you go. It's funny because it is very dark in here right now, but this is doing really wonderfully for colors and not blowing out. So this is a speckled, but it's a massage speckled. A little bit slightly different than how I do massage speckles, but this has various oranges, reds, tans, a little bit of yellows. And how it knits up, I have way too much to show you guys. Looks like this. So that was on my worsted weight. This is also worsted weight. This is knit flat. And here's what it looks like. So that is Ember. That is going to be our November colorway of the month. And pre-orders will be up for that starting November 1st through November 8th. And we will have it available on every one of our yarn bases, as well as sock sets, classic and shorty sets. And then we also are going to be doing DK and worsted weight hat kits that come with a pom-pom as well as the skein of yarn. So coordinated pom-pom. So there's that. Then I wanted to show you, we have some, well, I'm not going to go in order. Let's just start with this bag. So some new colorways. This actually is going to be the coordinate for the sock set. It is Dust in the Wind. This is a newer colorway for us. It's got that soft kind of warm glow with subtle, can you see it on there? Very subtle speckling. That's the dye, not us. We're not that talented. But these are going to be the, this is going to be the coordinate for the cuff, heel, and toe for the sock sets this month. Another new colorway is called Red Handed. Oh my gosh, I am loving this one. So there are two variations of the kind of the same color. They are two different colorways. There's Red Handed. This is on worsted, which is a little lighter on the black overwash, which lets more of the red through. And then this one is called Marauder. And this is the same color, just doubled with the black. We doubled the amount of black. So you can see there how those come through. So this is Marauder. This is on Showstopper. This is Red Handed on worsted. All of these are available in the shop because I picked these off the wall yesterday when I was shopping to show you stuff. Some other new colorways on DK weight. I have Sweet Cheeks and Mango Tango. And I pulled these and I was like, OMG, how good of a 3-color something DK weight would that be? Yes, please, I'll take one. And then we got some new bags in from the Silver Shed USA. These are last month's colorway, Smell My Feet. We have the knitted fabric. We have this available in the medium right here, as well as an extra large that can serve as a messenger bag. It comes with a coordinating strap. And the knitted fabric has the reverse stockinette on the inside. So this was last month's colorway of the month. We will have pre-orders up for Ember as well this month. This is the beauty shot of Smell My Feet. Here's a better picture of it. And the beauty shots come with a clear, just a white lining. So those came in from the Silver Shed USA. Some new products we got. I got a variety of different magnets that were, they're all handmade from recycled bottle caps, and they're woman-owned from Illinois. I believe she's out of Illinois, I'm pretty sure. But I only brought 2 designs. I also have Pride magnets. I have Illinois magnets. I have Magical, which have some magically fun, not safe for work sayings on them. And I think just these 2 then. So we have 4 sets of the knitting magnets. And they come with a set of 6 for $16. These say Unraveling, Yarnaholic, Have You Any Wool, Chicks with Sticks, Knitwit, and Love You. And they come with the tin too, which would be really good for like storing beads or little notions and things that you can reuse. This is Llama Llama. These are all the same llamas, just with different colored backgrounds. So those are new to the shop, brand new. Those are from Kate's Magnets. And then last in this bag, I wanted to show you a new sample that we've got. We waited on this for a while. This is the Be Anything shawl by Michelle Steed. This uses our box office worsted weight. And you use 2 colors for the body and 1 color for the bottom. This was using a discontinued colorway, Primordial. Unfortunately, it had to be discontinued as one of the main dyes in it was discontinued. But I think red-handed would look excellent as another choice. And then this uses Nude Scene at the bottom. You could use Nude Scene. You could use Heirloom, would look really good with red-handed. But we will be kitting this up eventually. I need to order some patterns from Michelle and then get them printed. And then we will be doing some kits of worsted down the line. But this is a new shop sample. It's hanging in our studio window. We did this as a knit-along earlier this year in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group. So you always want to kind of join in on the fun. You never know where things are going to pop up again. All right, let's put some of these back in my bag. Oops, sorry, corn dog. It's like, geez, I'm just trying to get my rest on. All right, some new kits that we have in the shop since last we spoke. We have bead kerchief kits. I just finished this. It's a 1-skein project with pre-strung and placed beads designed by Laura Nelkin. So I have them in 4 color combos. I have Perfection here that comes with coordinated beads as well as the beads you need for the bind off and the shawl, as well as a dental floss pre-stringer or placing beads, as well as a pre-stringing tool. And yeah, so these are available in the shop. I have it in Perfection, Harvest, which is what I did mine in, Don't Fear the Reaper, and Heirloom. And these all have color coordinated beads. You can check out what beads come with them on the listing on the website. I will also have bead curl loop kits for this once we get more intermission in stock. We are out of intermission, which are the half skeins, the 50-gram skeins. So these retail for $50 when it comes with all the beads and everything with the skein of yarn. The bead curl loop, which is the cowl version, those will retail, I believe, $36. I want to say they're going to be. So keep an eye out for that. Then last episode, I showed you the Susanna cowl, which was just released. And it comes with 2 versions, the thinner and thicker striped cowl. And so we put together yarn sets for this. The pattern does have to be purchased separately, but I wanted to show you a few yarn sets. All the black that we did with the different colors, those all have sold already. And we're, again, low on yarn, so I'm pulling from what we have on stock. This one is Nude Scene with Stretch Your Stuff and Vengeance. This one is Sangria with Bend and Snap and Red Handed. And these are 36. Again, pattern must be purchased separately. This one actually was funny because these colors were designed together. This is Winter Shrubbery with Vintage Sleigh Ride and Christmas at Green Gables. And then last but not least, this is Krampus with Smoke on the Water and Sprightly Endeavors. So you can check those out on the website for the Susanna cowl, which was designed by Heather Booz. And you get, with the purchase of the pattern, which again you have to purchase separately, you do get both versions of the pattern, either the thicker or the thinner stripes. So I know some people are buying 2 kits so that they can do both versions. I'm not saying that a knit along for this will not happen in the future. It will not be November's knit along. We already know what November is going to be. And it is a newly released cowl, and along the same lines where it's a cowl shawl combination. So if you've been following us on Instagram or Facebook, you know what has been released here. And we're excited to do that. All right. Oh, and we did get a new batch of rehearsal bags in. Most of them have sold. We do have black and forest green. These were designed by myself and are made by Anne at the Silver Shed USA. These are all made out of wax canvas and have an accent cork stripe. They have 5 pockets on the inside. One side has a full side pocket. You have 2 side pockets, which are great for holding water bottles. And then you have 2 smaller pockets on one side, split in half, great for digital devices. You have 2 handles, which can be removed. There's a crossbody strap you can attach on the inside. There's a D-ring for attaching a carabiner with your keys or anything else. There are also 6 inner pockets along with a zippered pouch. On unbleached canvas on the inside. And it does say a Leading Men Fiber Arts exclusive design by the Silver Shed USA. So you know it's a one of a kind. No one else can carry these. You can only get them through us. And we're going to ordering 1 color at a time. If you want to pre-order, you can always do that. Just shoot us an email and let us know what color you want. Anne did send us a different brown instead of the brown we normally have this month. We were able to list that, and it's a caramel color, so that is also going to be coming available. And so we're just going to replenish every month with one of new colors, but if you want to pre-order, you can always shoot us an email, and we can shoot you an invoice and get that pre-order going. So we will get a new restock of those probably in the middle of November. All right, let's talk about Cast of Characters Mini Skein Yarn Club. The invoices for November will be going out on November 10th. You have through the 17th to pay your invoice. I do want to let you know that starting in 2020, we have an exciting new things coming with the club at no additional cost. We're going to be collabing and giving you ideas on how to use your mini skeins. So super excited about this collaboration for 2021 and see how it goes. We also have our loyalty program. Don't forget, if you shop with us online or in person, you can always sign up for our loyalty program using your phone number. And every $1 you spend gives you a point, and those points can be used for, basically you get 10% back in points to be used on future orders. So just a reminder, we have 3 knit-alongs going on in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group right now. The first one is the Irresistible Poncho / Capelet. That is ending here this weekend. We've had 1 finished object, so congratulations to that person. If anybody else gets in, they're going to be eligible for prizes. If not, that one person is going to win a $100 gift certificate to the Leading Men Fiber Arts shop, as well as the other prizes, which is a pattern from the designer. We also have the Happenings Wrap knit-along going on in the group. Again, Leading Men Fiber Arts group, not the Dramatic Knits Ravelry group. The Happenings Wrap has got a lot of good mojo going on in there. People seem to be enjoying it and seeing people's progress. The winner of that is $50 gift certificate, plus another winner will win a pattern of their choice from the designer. Also, don't forget any knit-alongs that we have in our knit-along, in our Ravelry group, in the appropriate threads, there are coupon codes to not only get usually discounts on the patterns, but also discounts on yarn throughout the duration of the knit-along. Our last and most recent knit-along is for the Incendio cowl. This takes 1 skein of DK weight. It was published and posted via the Notions magazine. Online magazine. Are you okay? I thought you wanted to get down. And yeah, so we're doing a knit along for that. That should be a quick gift knit if you're looking for a gift knit for the holidays. And last but not least, upcoming shows. So this weekend we are traveling to Mount Vernon, Ohio, which is about a 6-hour drive for us, about on the dot. And we are going to be doing a trunk show at the Makery in Mount Vernon. And we will be set up by 3 p.m. on Friday. There will be an exclusive shopping event. You'll have to find out about that via the Makery's newsletter or our newsletter from 3 to 5 p.m. at their store on Friday. And then the trunk show will be from 10 to 4 on Saturday. So we hope that you'll come and check us out and say hi. Please wear your mask. They will be required. And I know that they are doing door prizes and goodie bags and prizes for best costume on Saturday because it is Halloween. So we hope you'll come in and say hi and chit chat with us, and I hope I get to meet you and see you out there. So I know they are really excited to have us, and we are really excited to make our way out there. We've been doing a lot of wholesale work with them, but this is our first time actually meeting them and their team in person. So other than that, I hope that you have a great 2 weeks. Please follow Leading Men Fiber Arts on Ravelry, Facebook, and Instagram. And as always, you can find the show on YouTube. We'd love a thumbs up and a subscribe. You can also find it on our website, dramaticknits.com, where all of our show notes are located, as well as our Ravelry group, where we post a link to YouTube. I hope you have a great 2 weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in. And until I see you again, I hope you make something dramatic.